Okay, boom. We should be live in the tube with PT. How are you, PT?
Yeah, fine as usual. The P word, yes. So, yeah,
Fine as always. That's great to
yeah,
hear. Today we're gonna start. We're gonna keep going with our etymology of a few words. Of course, we're not doing the old dictionary here. That's not
no,
our goal, but it's to spark some kind of interest. Or also, there's words that have chosen that interest me, like to know more about. So we'll go through that. So the first word I'm gonna bring today, PT, is abracadabra. Okay, because I've
okay.
heard stuff in the past about that magic word abracadabra. So maybe you can tell us more about it. Maybe a
Yeah,
relation with
it,
Sanskrit and stuff.
but
I'm sure there
yeah,
is
yeah,
something.
yeah, it's not a word actually, right? Okay, but
Okay.
if you look at it uh, in the, it's not, it's like a considered spell, right? Like it's considered something to do with, but it's actually to do with the beginning of creation. Actually, it's the same, like A, one, okay, and then B, birth, Ra, sun, okay,
Yeah.
car, charge, da, vehicle, okay, and birth again, and the same cycle repeats. Bira ka- will repeat again into the same. So after the A, the B, Ra, Ka, Da is repeating again to create more beings in these units vehicle. So that's what abracadabra is actually. It's just a,
Because in some
but
way,
it's a multiplication of things and beings in this universe. Okay. So after da, the
I always said
bira
life
starts
is
cycle again. You have to put a dash after the da for bira, and that cycle starts again.
makes sense because life is magic and like it's
Yeah,
magic to
yeah,
it's blows my mind when you see it live. Also, when you see a woman give birth live, it makes you reflects a lot on life and
and
the miracle of life and the yeah.
yes, and ra is also sun, right?
Yeah,
So
Ra's the sun.
so if you birth the sun, then you have life, right? Without sun, no life. So
Yeah.
so
I pick two places, two countries or continent just for that letter A, and the one that interests me is Africa and Afghanistan, because Afghanistan is very strategic position, very strategically. There's something with uh, the I think it's called the landlines or something. There's some because they went to do
I
pretend
mean,
or did
that
or I
area had
wasn't there, but they did something there. So
yeah, there was Hindu Kush Mountains. Earlier, it
Africa
used
and
to be
Afghanistan.
like what is now Afghanistan used to be part of this big landmass, which is now called India. And the Hindu Kush, the same Vedic roots and Sanatan roots were there in the Hindu Kush mountains. They had temples of in Vedic type of temples and things like that there, which has been hidden now. As long as different people are in occupation, they'll hide that fact, you know. So like the terms don't are coming from outside, Afghanistan and stuff like that, from the how West names these things. You know, in ancient times, the same place was called Gandhar. Okay, so it had a different name. Okay,
Okay.
so it is not like the modern names. You can't make much out of that because they're just made up a lot of times. Just like so,
Okay.
so
Uh, what about Arctic? The Arctic is it's the same thing in French, and Antarctic, same thing in French.
okay,
And you
it's
find in those words, same like Atlantic, you always find that tick, like politics, like tick, the bug that tick you and give you Lyme disease or something. So what is
yeah,
the
TIC.
tick in
Yeah,
Arctic, Antarctic, Atlantic politics?
okay. It's about seeing again. Okay, T is a crossing. Okay, T crossing. Okay, I see the crossing. I see. Whenever you see a crossing, you put the word TIC. Okay, you are seeing the crossing. Okay, arc. is an arc. Like on a circle, there's an arc. Okay, you are seeing the arc crossing. You see, so when you go to Arctic, you see a crossing across the arc. It's very clear what that means. Okay, like
Yeah.
you know, yeah, yeah, that you see a crossing. I'm seeing a crossing across the arc. That's all. That's what it means. You know.
Okay,
So,
and same thing
the,
for
so and yeah,
unmarked.
and those people who are like more versed in the like flat earth things and things like that in last 5-10 years, they will know what I'm saying from this. So,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
What about the word atmosphere? Because that's one that we hear often, especially like the sphere. I don't know where the sphere comes in there, but atmos also. What's atmos in Sanskrit? What's this thing with the sphere? High on the sphere and sphere and sphere, and always putting that word in our face. What make us think we're on a sphere?
see,
Like,
like in Sanskrit, the words for what is called atmosphere now is vayu, prana. Like these are the terms. Okay, and which the atma requires to live, have this physical body here on atma, which became atma
okay,
became atmos, like that thing. So it is the breath of life, right? Like without breath, you die, right? Like the physical body dies, So the breath of life. The sphere they've just added later to confuse people because they had to go along, like there was a sphere theory, so they added that later. So, but it's not the sphere. It's about the atma and the physical body and the breath of air, life, which is required out on this earth plane. That's all.
so it has nothing to do with the sphere.
No, no, that is added confusion, right? Once you have a theory, everything, all the words have to be made after that, right?
Okay, okay.
Yeah, that the
Uh,
sphere came first, the globe, atmosphere came afterwards. The term.
okay. When you get bit by a snake or something or any uh, disease you need like an antidote, but there's antidote in French, it's antidote, but the dot is a point, so it's anti-point. What is this? What do I see here in an antidote?
Okay, antidote, right? It's been anti of that thing. Anti. Everyone knows what anti means. Opposite of anything. Okay,
Yeah,
so like if you have a like dot, which is dote, okay, which is a certain kind of energy. E is energy, right? E is crossing. Okay, so that cup is carrying a certain kind of energy, which in the snake's case is venom, right? The snake is carrying a chemical, a substance which has a certain sort of energy, which it goes into your body, it can cause harm to your physical body, right? That's the dot. Dot is just the energy which is in the cup of that snake or whatever the being we are talking
yeah,
about. And
whatever
you,
requires an
so,
antidote.
but you need an energy which is anti that, which can stop that energy from functioning. So energy from this side, another energy to counter it from there. That's all. It's energy counter.
Okay.
That's all.
We are in the age of Aquarius. You told me that it's not coming. We are in it. What about the word Aquarius related to Sanskrit or even any other
Yes,
languages
yes,
for that matter?
yes. Like in Sanskrit, the sign is called kumbh. Okay, kumbh is like a pot which is has the waters of life. Okay, now aqua, water, right?
Yes.
Rias means of life, re, life, regeneration of, so waters of life. Another term for that is Aquarius. you know so
Yeah.
that's why, like, sign symbol of Aquarius sign is this man holding a pitcher, putting the water down like this, right? Like this thing is falling, the water, right? So that's waters of life, basically, which is actually the essence of uh, creation and truth. You know what about people call truth right now? Okay, the truth is coming out, right? That. So, what is that? I mean, that regenerates you, right? Like, it gives you a new perspective, a new life, right?
Yeah.
So that is happening right now, isn't it? You get a new life when your perspective is knowledge. So that water's life can be knowledge. It can be any kind of thing. Waves which are bringing it to you right now. Like from, I'm speaking right now to you, and it's going through all these different energy cables and air and all these things and reaching people's ear, and it's changing them. All right. So those are the waters of life, which can be, which are moving through energy grids right now, through Wi-Fi and through different that things. And that's Age of Aquarius is making that happen, right? Like, so,
Yeah.
because that aqua is water, everyone knows that. Okay, waters of life, and kum in Sanskrit meant the same. So it's the same thing everywhere. Like, there's no like contradiction in terms there. Like, so
And we say we are in the age of Aquarius because, of course, there is astrologists out there, like people that look at the stars and all that stuff, like you. But a child born in nature has no idea that he's in the age of Aquarius. So, what is telling us, like, how can we, like, a child born in nature has no idea of all that stuff. So, how do we go about us human processing that on the
on normal level,
reality
okay,
level, on the
normal
reality
first.
level?
For non-reality level, first you see like that, like earlier, people had no access to information. Books, like 100 years ago,
Okay, okay, okay.
just
Yeah,
books,
yeah,
right?
that's good.
Books.
Yeah,
And where people like used to have to go to libraries, and how many people had books? Hardly any. Very rich elite
hardly.
would have some library or something, right? So how many people had access to
Yes.
any kind of information? Like, very few. Very, 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 very few humans on earth had access to any kind of information, right? Just 100 years ago, right? That's It's a fact. Okay, now the amount of information you have on a click of a button, anything you want to know, immediately, immediate access. Okay, that's Aquarius in action. Okay, I mean,
Yeah,
you can practically see it. It's not
yeah.
something. Then people had to like go by hearsay and believing things. Oh, it might be like that. you know Somebody used to say, oh, in that South America, wherever that South America, things are like this, and you have to believe it might be so. Somebody would tell a story, I've been there, and it's like this. Okay, and you just have to believe. Now you don't, like, you can go there yourself, you can see it on 100 things and know what it is. You don't have to just believe. So
And
so
all,
from the age of
and
believing
also
to age
the
of,
age of Pisces. With
yeah, age of
yeah,
believing to age of knowing, like direct knowing, direct perception, direct things of things, more knowledge things. So that's all happening. You don't have to be an astrologer or anything to do with seeing the stars or anything to realize what's going on. Like, the change which has happened is very drastic. It's a big change. It's never been
yes,
like for after many years. This has been a huge change. And electric music, electronics, all of that. You know, all of that is part of the you know use of electricity in these ways, which has brought about the current situation where everyone can access the truth. And you have the show TruMon show, or Truth. Everybody's wants the truth. Everyone wants to know what actually is going on, right? Like, this whole drive
yeah.
and everything. So that's all part of the same energy. Aquarius people think there's is the reality of the situation.
And like I was saying, we can also go to the age of Pisces, which was the previous age, and we can clearly see that it was the age of Pisces too. Also, with all the stories of Jesus and all that stuff, being a
Oh,
fisherman, like. all the stuff that goes with it and the lack of information going around.
Yeah,
Yeah,
believe. Yeah, and not just in religion. You have to believe in anything. If when a person goes to another country, you not gone there, they'll just say it's like that, and you just have to believe them, right? you you have no way of knowing yourself what the actual reality or the case is. Now people can immediately know about a country. They go in there. There are Google images. People programs from there, ground level reports, vlogs, 100 things you can see to know any region of the world right now, right? Like it's
yeah.
very
There's so
different.
much information going around.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
yeah,
If you
yeah,
don't know something, it's because you
yeah,
take the decision not to know
yeah,
something.
yeah. So, but at least the decision is in people's hands. Earlier,
Yeah.
that decision was not. Even if you wanted to know, you couldn't. Basically, in that way, in this world. So,
But how can you? That's what I was talking to you one day. How can you take a good decision, conscious decision, if you want to use the word conscious, when you don't know what's the choice in front of you? People
yeah,
don't know that they don't know that they don't know. So how do they
yeah.
take
That's why,
even decisions?
yeah, that's why a whole thing has been created right now where all options are available. Okay, like if you really want to find out, you will find out. Okay, that's the difference.
Okay.
It's not like if you want to find out, you can't find out. Now, if someone really gets any feeling or anything inside them that they do want to find out, like they will find out. Like, you can say as
Interesting.
depending on the level of interest they have internally, like from their inside, whatever level of the interest they have, or the level of basis of that they will. So, so that facility is a big thing. People don't understand how big a thing that facility is, because when that facility is not there, then only you realize how big a thing that is. Okay. Once right now it is there, people can take it for granted. They might not make much of it because they don't think it's such a big deal, because like kids right now, they're born into it. Okay. So they will think that this is normal. That's how things are, always. But that's not the case. Like, there are times within even your lifetime when that wasn't the case. You had a lifetime prior to the internet, I'm sure, in this life itself, and you know how it was. So like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay, we're gonna go with the letter B. Now the first word is
yeah,
B, B E, be or to be or not to be,
to be, yeah,
but be, being,
yeah,
be, and then we
yeah.
have
So
the also
yeah,
the B's, the B, B E E.
yeah, yeah. Like, so let's go into B. B is two. A was one. Okay, in B we have become two. Okay, when two happens from one, creation starts. Creation starts. One becomes two, creation starts. So that's why all the terms for birth, be, born, be, to exist, being, existence, to exist, be. Okay, all the things to do with that are be. Because, and B also has two that thing circles, right? Two,
Yes.
right? A has a single straight line, one. Okay, E is two. Okay, so one has become two. Two means all birthing, all creation, everything has happened in B. Okay, so that's why the word being, be, birth, born are the same thing. They're saying, showing the exact same thing.
Yeah, and the B has also like two bumps, like the woman.
Yeah, yeah, breast also, which is again,
I don't know if
like,
boobies are is a
yeah,
proper
so
word.
the term for that breast,
Breast, woman
but that
breast.
will also
C'est
come
ça.
with B, right? That will also come with B.
Yeah,
Okay, all those things are inherent
the
in that.
breath with the
Breath
B
also
also.
being. So the point is that creation has happened, birth has happened. Baby is born and then it's put to the breast, right? you know so birth, being. So people get a general idea what B means, right, as a whole. Like, you,
That's it.
you're clear about the
Yeah.
nature of the second letter, you know.
So the second
So
letter of the.
yes,
We say the English alphabet, but it's also the French alphabet. It's also the Italian alphabet. Like, why do we refer to it as just
I
the
mean
alphabet?
because a lot of the languages alphabets might not have logic in it like this, you know, whether two is two, right?
And also, you have
Yeah.
something in the French alphabet that you don't have in English, like
Yes,
the
yeah, that's fine.
accents and
But
stuff. So
like in
yeah,
English, whatever they did, like they understood A is alpha, B is beta, or they took from that, and B means two. Everything about it is two. There's no contradiction. Let's say, you know, that's why all the terms in English, which are to do with being born, birth, everything are the things. There is no, they don't start with A. Those things. So
one thing that you put a lot of importance on, and it's for good reason, valid reason, divine reason, is bowing, bowing
yeah,
to higher and divine, like the word
yeah,
bow, BOW.
yeah,
Uh, the W can be seen as a tree, also, like
yeah.
if you
Which I
look
call
at it.
victory. W. I don't call V victory. I call W victory. That's because I think win is WIN, right? It's not VIN win. Okay, so W is more the victory symbol actually, as per. So like the bowing thing is the birth of winning mentality actually,
Okay,
because
profound.
because birth of like, because if you bow to higher, okay, you will go higher, right? Okay, you're
Yes,
you're going higher. Now when you're going higher, you're winning. There's no other winning in this whole existence except going higher. There is no other winning, right? So that's why that is so. So that W is the win. That W,
okay, okay,
like,
okay.
and
Yeah,
it's
when.
yeah, it's the win. Yeah, it's
Oh,
the and the birth of what? That actual winning, you know. So so
cool.
so B was
Uh, yeah. Another one here that I have on my list is baby. Baby, because baby comes out of baby comes Babylon, the Babylon system that we all heard about. So, what is the baby in Babylon? Or we also
okay.
maybe one day we will call
Okay,
these beings that are small, 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 some other things than baby. Like
okay.
maybe we'll come up with
The
another
B,
word one day.
the B word is like birth, right? Birth. When you have a birth, what comes out of a birth on a human being? Right, a baby comes, right? When being is
Yes.
very small on earth, we call them a baby, right? Right. Okay. Yeah. So, so we are calling them a baby, and then we have lawn, okay, which is lion, okay, baby lion, and lion is
Baby
Leo,
line.
the sign Leo, which is the throne, okay. Now, throne is the where the king or the being which is ruling sits, right?
Yes.
Okay, so it's the authority. So the word Babylon by itself is not a bad word, you know. Only problem here is who will be sitting on that throne. Which baby will inherit the lion Leo throne? That's if in that throne a negative force sits, which doesn't want good of other beings or humans, right? We have a problem. We have a negative structure. We have a problem, which is this world, right now, right? That problem, okay. But if a being which is like a positive and enlightened is sitting on the throne on the baby lawn, then it's a good thing. Then the whole system is positive and uplifting for everyone. So it's not the word which is the problem, baby lawn. It is who is sitting in that throne? Which baby sits in that throne? Because all beings are out here when they're born, they are babies, right? First, and when they grow up, one of them is sitting on the throne, and there are beings which are sitting on that throne. And who are those beings, and what is their intention? That's
And Bob said that, I think, in one of his songs, Bob Marley, the biggest man was once a baby.
yes,
Even the biggest man on earth was once a baby. You were
yeah,
a baby once.
yeah, yeah. Everyone is baby. That's what I'm saying. Which baby inherits the lion,
Yeah,
Leo throne? That's all Babylon means. It's not a bad word. What I'm saying, it's nothing bad in the word, you know. But it's the problem is the throne right now might be in hands of being, which might not be for everyone's good or evolution. That's the
exactly. Another word I have here is a word that you see a lot is the word bar. B-A-R. Because you can enter in a bar to have a beer. You can pass the bar with the lawyer stuff. There is a bar in front of me. There is like bar is so widely used, but what is the thing with bar, especially Sanskrit and all that?
okay. So Ra, sun. Okay. So Ra is sun. Okay. So AR will be opposite of Ra, right?
Yeah,
So birth of AR, anything which is anti-sun. Like if your Ra means freedom, then if your bar you can't, your freedom is curtailed, right?
yes.
Right. So like whenever anything to do with Saturn things, restriction comes. The word restriction. Law, courts, prisons, bars, all these things.
Yeah, prison
So
bar. That's it.
yeah, bar because AR opposite of Ra. Ra means what?
Opposite of raw.
Ra means sunshine, open field, openness, right?
Ah,
What does Ra mean?
wow. That's
O-
yeah. I
Open
haven't seen the
freedom.
raw in there. And
Yeah, yeah. So it's so so R is opposite of Ra, which is Saturn. Okay, you have sun, like if you have sunshine, and if you feel too hot in the sunshine, where will you go into? Shade. Okay, so the shade will be called R.
so
Yeah, and that R becomes arc later, like that R shade shelter. So
yeah,
yeah.
architect. Also, you find
Arc,
architect,
yeah, arc, like the Ark of the Covenant, Noah's Ark. You know, it
ark
saved
of the
people from the
covenant.
flood. Like right.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, interesting. And there's also the word bark, the bark of a tree. It's bar with a K.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
So yeah.
what about the
So
bark
what?
of a tree?
Yes. See
Or a dog. A dog will bark also. Like you say, you have a bark of a tree, but also the dogs bark.
what that creates a
If I'm
restriction. If the
not
dog is
mistaken.
barking, you can't go there, right? What is dog saying? You can't go there. It creates a restriction, a sense of restriction, right?
Yeah, usually
Yeah,
you
yeah.
kind of stop
Like
if the dog
and a
bark.
bark on a tree is, why is it a bark on a tree? Like because tree doesn't want you to get to the tree, right? Like it has some protective shield on top of it, right?
Yes.
So that you can't access what is inside. It's sap, it's things. So it is also protecting itself. I said whenever protection comes, the bar will come from anything. You know, yeah, the bar, the AR will come at that time. So the tree also has a bar protection. Tree's protection is bark. That's you know that's its
Yeah.
protection.
It's
That's
that's
why.
the protection.
Yeah,
Exactly.
a dog's bark is also a protection.
Uh,
Like, yeah,
yeah. You say often it's important to learn the basic. So the word basic, I would like you to go through that one.
the basic B.
Basic, yeah.
as I see. So birth, beingness, as I see, exactly as I see, as the birth is, as a being is. That's why first thing I teach people that people say that I'm a being, right? I'm not this name, I'm not that name, I'm that thing. I'm a being. Okay. At your most basic level, that's what you are, right? Like a being. You're not
Yes.
like you might have a name right now or whatever, but you're not that name because that name will change whenever this life is over or anything. So, at the most basic, so the being as I see at its most core level. So, basic means being as I see. That's yeah. So,
Wow.
so
That's
that's
great.
the most co- core level of beingness, the the existence. You know, like you people call it a spirit. Like spirit is part of your being, but that's not all of your being. Your body is also part of your being. Spirit is also part of your being, but you are the being. So
Yeah.
yeah,
I have another one here. It's some. We're probably gonna finish with this one. It's something that is heavily consumed everywhere. I don't know anywhere where they don't drink beer.
yeah,
So what about the word beer?
yeah. I mean, alcohol comes under many names, right? Like alcohol has been given many names. Okay, so when a birth of a drink, it's a birth, energy in er. Okay, it's a certain kind of when yeast works on a like a like a drink which is going old, anything, fruit juice or whatever, he starts working on it. Okay, there's a energy rotation. There's a energy of that thing, whatever it is, sugar cane juice, let's say, or whatever that thing is. There's a drink, and then the yeast start functioning and rotating, are turning its energy into something else. Energy turns into some other energy, the alcoholic energy. So there's a birth of a certain kind of that energy, and then you call it beer, just a short form for a certain kind of alcoholic transmutation. R is the transmutation. Yeah, that's all. So that's
And
it.
they put the word bee in there. Is it because the bee goes around on the plants, and if without the bees, there's no
Yeah,
crops?
no, I
No,
mean, no. But I mean, the bee has its own transformation. They transform that things, from the flowers to the honey. You know, the
that's
nectar
it.
to
Okay.
the honey. They are doing their own transformation, which is alcohol transformation is different. But the word that can be used for any transformation actually, but it has become most famous for alcoholic thing where that alcohol transformation has happened because just because alcohol has become so important and famous in this world that you know that's why like that term has been used for it. Right? So that's
And I heard someone say lately, just to close this, that there is no amount of alcohol that is good for you. Like there's more and more studies being made, I think, and they point to the fact that there is no amount of alcohol that is good for you. It's all
I
poison.
mean, I think that all the studies are useless. Like when they say that this much is okay or this much is, in the Ayurvedic thing, and before it was used as a tincture. Alcohol was used as a
That's what I want to
tincture.
ask you.
Yeah,
What's
yeah,
your point of view on
yeah.
alcohol?
It was used as a tincture to get because it gets into your bloodstream fast. If you had to put some herbs quickly into your bloodstream, they would use that as
Okay.
a carrier for the
Yeah.
herbs. So that's all it was. I mean, right now too much is being made out of it. It is just like that. People are obsessed. When they become obsessed with something, they come up with extreme things, about it. So
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So
That's human nature.
yeah, yeah,
Or is it really human nature?
yeah. I mean,
We've
it
been
is just
we have
becomes
been denurtured a lot, so
yeah, yeah, ungrounded nature. Let's lack of grounding.
exactly. Lack of grounding. So, large up PT will stop there for today, and we'll
Yeah,
start back next Wednesday with the rest I have
right.
here. I have a few other words that are interesting to look at.
Yes.
So, that's it. Large up, and forever grateful for you showing up here every Wednesday. I feel very honored, blessed, and highly favored to do this with you. So, boom, we're out.
Next.